And the Valley is one of the best places in the world. Like coming from Chicago, we had good food. I think it's better here.
It really is.
Because you get some Chicago, but you get all Florida, you get New York, you get all kinds of places.
Yeah, it's such a mixture.
I knew we were going to connect when I read that you said the best filet in town was you said Steak 44, but it's Dominics.
It is Dominics.
It's the best filet in town.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But
I was there like 2 weeks ago.
Were you?
Yeah.
It's our favorite place. I mean, it's 2 minutes from here.
Yeah.
It's the best filet ever.
I love it.
But how'd you come from the pumpkin patch to Dominics?
I really, really had fun on the pumpkin patch, Grew up there, started when I was 8.
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Okay,
Midwest girl.
Yep. My grandpa and grandma started in 1975. It is a staple in Kenosha. And I was working there. I did that for 15 years. And
is it like in the fall where, there's the corn maze and the whole deal?
Yeah. We had a huge corn maze. My uncle would make the pattern and bring it out. Yeah, he loved doing that. We had a huge giant jumping pillow. We had hay rides. We have a haunted forest, a haunted bus. Just so fun. And I got to grow up on that.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. And then I kind of, went off to college, got my degree, and then started with a company out of Racine. And we merged with the company out here in Phoenix. And one day I was just joking with the VP of the company. I'm like, when are you going to move me out to Phoenix? The next day I had an offer in my inbox, had never been out here before, knew no one. And literally I was here.
So what was that? You just ready to go? You wanted something new? You wanted to experience
Yeah. I'm okay, Kenosha has done what it did for me, and it was fun. I could have moved to Chicago. I could have moved to Milwaukee, but I was we have a condo in Florida. My family does too. So I'm just used to going there. I'm used to the warmth. And I'm like, you know what? Arizona's warm. And as I've been here, I found, what's awesome about it, we don't have any natural disasters. We don't have to worry about it except for a haboob every once in a while.
Best.
Yeah.
It really is one of the best states, I think.
Yeah.
But so college, what did you go to school for?
Marketing.
And why? Because, did you have any inkling at all to be in the pumpkin business? You grew up around something so different than marketing.
Yeah. Well, so my degree is business marketing. So I knew that I wanted to do something in that realm, entrepreneurial. And I always kind of have that entrepreneurial spirit. And I knew that if I could get in at the marketing ground, which I was I'm all about print. I think print's going to be still awesome in a few years. Yeah, that's died now. So zoom over.
Well, you've pivoted. You pivoted nicely.
I did. And it's been fun. But I knew that if I wanted to help my family, which I started their Facebook page for them. And I made sure I think I did it 15 years ago. My grandma was still alive. And
so you brought the pumpkin patch online.
I did. Yeah. I remember looking at statistics, and it's people in Denmark were looking at it. I was like, why do we have people over there looking at it? But I was nonetheless, that's awesome that we're getting this reach. And now they've grown. My aunt and uncle took it over, and they've grown the business so well. Oh, wow. And I am so happy for them. But yeah, I really love going into the business marketing aspect. I'm also very mathematical, so I like being creative, and I like data analytics, which is literally counterintuitive.
Polar opposites. Yeah, you don't see a lot of that.
Yeah, so I was really good at math. I almost on the ACTs, I was almost completely out. I didn't have to take any classes, but then I ended up taking accounting and statistics, all that jazz.
Did you like it, or you were just good at it, or both?
I like it. Yeah, I was good at it. I didn't become an accountant because I didn't want to, but my job now is in financial technology that I do full time, which is just, it's on the side now. It's kind of just
But you've been doing it quite some time.
Yeah. I've been in that industry for 9 years. And that's
straight out of college.
A year in between. Okay. I was in another company, but yeah. And it's financial technology, stock compensation. If you want to know how your RSUs vest, how your options vest, I'm your girl. I know all about that and the financial reporting aspect that corporations have to do behind that. So that's my background full time. So yeah.
And so you're doing this and going, there's still something else, because you said you've always had this entrepreneurial spirit, right?
Yes.
So you're in this financial software company, which probably makes most people's minds go blank.
Yeah. Yeah. So right now I'm kind of in an in-between, like, do I want to start like a bigger business than what I have with BigBootyFoody? Do I want to...
What does that mean? Does that mean burn the boats, quit your job and just go full on with your channels?
Yeah, I would love to do that. I really do like having the stability of the full-time job, and I'm single, so having the healthcare, like I don't have anyone to really lean on in that aspect where like if I'm not making money, like
it's a risk.
Yeah, it's really risky. But
and you're a mathematics person, so you know what those risks mean in numbers.
Yeah, I'm huge into budgeting and like making sure that I have enough, and I know I do. Like if I were to quit tomorrow and just say I don't like this anymore, I could do it. I have the money saved, but it's scary. It's like, what if I don't start making money in the next 3 months, 6 months, whatever I have stashed away? Yeah, that would be scary.
But with the experience and the knowledge you have now, could you just go back and get your job back? I'm trying to push you to burn that boat.
I could, but
don't people take, like, don't millennials or Gen A's, I just learned that term, Gen A's, take sabbaticals nowadays? Like they have to go find themselves for 6 months? Why can't you do that? Just, hey, I'm going to go find myself.
I want to, and I have thought about it because I'm like, can I take like FMLA? Like, what can I do? So my company just rolled out, if you've been there for 15 years, which I've only been with the company for 6, they're giving sabbaticals. I'm like, who wants to sit around for 15 years?
9 more years, huh?
I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to wait that.
This episode of Casita Conversations is brought to you by Tropics Collective. Tropics uses only the highest quality Delta-9 and THC ingredients to bring you the very best of what cannabis has to offer. It's Farm Bill compliant, which means it's legal in all 50 states for everyone. Give it a try today, and if you use our promo code, you'll save 15% on your entire first order. Go to tropicscollective.com and use the promo code Casita to get your discount today. Tropics Collective is defining the art of cannabis.
How did this BigBootyFoody come to be? Like, clearly you love it, but did you always know you loved it, or did it just kind of happen and you're like, oh, this is pretty fucking cool?
Yeah, so when I was 19, I applied to go to culinary school because I was kind of also in like the in-between, like, do I want to continue with business? I'm not sure. I applied and was accepted to the Culinary Institute of Chicago. I did not go. My mom was like, I'm not paying $40,000 for you to go to culinary school, which was what it would have cost. So kind of like that set on the back burner. And then 2016, I went to the French Laundry in Napa, and I went for a bachelorette. Like, my girlfriends were bougie. They are so bougie. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do Napa. I'm like, that's going to be expensive, but I'm here for it. It was so fun. We did like a 12-course meal. And then like I posted it on my personal Instagram, and I got like no likes. Like no one liked it. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe if I just like move it over to like a different account, but like what could I call a food account? And like I was always so self-conscious about my butt growing up. But you know, like Kardashians kind of were starting to bring it back at the time. And so I was like, you know what? BigBootyFoody, like that's going to be it. And I wanted the IE, but 3 months before that, some girl in Connecticut took that name. And I was just like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to do it with a Y. Like, well,
if it makes you feel any better, when you search that, she doesn't come up.
Yeah.
So you've done the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was, it was almost not by chance, but you did something that didn't, and you were looking for the likes. You were looking for, why is nobody responding? I just had this amazing experience that might have changed my life, or at least in the food part of my life.
Exactly.
And no one cares.
Yeah.
And then you stick a name on it, and all of a sudden people are caring. People are caring.
I'm getting followers from everywhere, every aspect. I mean, it's funny, like in my DMs right now, some dude that has like 1 million followers that I've never met before is like liking what I'm posting. He's not following me, but nonetheless,
he will. He will. Sometimes it takes us dudes a while to come around, but we always come around.
Yeah. I'm like, how did you find me? But this happens a lot. I'm like, what? How did this person find me? Like, where? And like, I don't even know how you came about my page, but
I'd have to ask Hassan that same question.
Yeah. I'm like, but
he's a ninja. He's an Instagram ninja.
He's like, we saw you. And I was like, oh, did you?
So is it, because there's plenty of food bloggers. Like, that's not a new thing, right? It wasn't a new thing even when you started in 2016.
No.
It's been out there. So what caused that to catch on, do you think, initially?
Yeah, definitely my personality. A lot of the people that follow me have met me. Okay. There are some like outliers who just randomly have found me. I'm on the dating sites, so like I just put my Instagram on there. If they feel so obliged to go and follow me, they can go for it.
But that is one of the prerequisites to date you, just so we're clear.
Yes.
Yes, that you have to follow first.
You have to.
Okay, good.
I'm like,
Get that out of
because
the way.
you get a feel for my personality.
Totally.
Like,
so that's what it was. It was a little bit of your individualistic coming through.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I loved being individualistic. All of like the personality things that I take, it's like individual, very direct, or very yellow and very blue. So I'm like, I'm so counterintuitive to myself, but I'm also such like a leader in that aspect, and I love it.
Yeah. I read that you were called the mayor of your apartment complex.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
everyone comes to you.
Yeah. I knew a lot of people in my old complex, and now I'm like, rebuilding it up, getting to know everyone. I go down to the hot tub, chat people up and figure out who they are. I've met like a baseball player, like an ex-baseball player there. He's super sweet. Like, I've met some guy from Kenosha. Literally,
Oh, no
he
way.
lives in my
Small
complex.
world.
Yeah, he's like 9 years older than me and has like 10 brothers and sisters.
Had he heard about your pumpkin patch? Because that's a great opener when you're trying to date somebody. Hey, I have this pumpkin patch.
I have a pumpkin patch. We can go there and do cute stuff in the fall.
See? So it's catching on. So now I'm going back to 2016. It starts to catch on. And then you go, I should just keep doing this?
Yeah. So I ended up meeting up with some foodies at a foodie event at like Wasted Grain. I remember that was like my first event that I got invited to. I met a ton of influencers there, not just foodies. There was a few girls that I'm still friends with today. We still like each other's stuff and like look back and forth and everything. Super cute, curves on a budget. She's awesome. And I'm like, we resonate with each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I met some great people super early on. And I've just flowered since then, I feel like.
Does it feel like you're basically going out on the weekends and getting paid for it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I try to go to places that really are like local and I would say just like my flavor. Like I went on a date with a well-known celebrity. I won't out him right now. But we went on two dates.
Might get to the bottom of this before the end, though.
And he
Wait, 2 dates. So
Yeah,
good enough for a second one.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Super sweet. He was here for a show and
What type of show? Like a
comedy.
comedy show?
I love comedy.
Yeah, okay.
But he literally I think he got upset with me and didn't want to go on another date because
Oh, no.
I was like, oh yeah, well, I told him what I eat. And he's like, you eat like no ethnic food. And I was like, I'm like, oh God. I'm like,
Oh,
because
no.
like Indian really isn't my thing. And there are
Yeah.
people out there who do like it. And I'm like, go for it.
Right.
And then like I said, I have like a shellfish allergy. So sometimes sushi is just off the table for
So
me.
that just turned him off.
It did. And I'd never heard from him again. Like we were FaceTiming.
Is
Like,
his first name Raj?
no.
Okay.
You're like, wait. No, then I found out he started dating one of my other favorite comedians. So I was like, oh, well, that's probably why too.
Yeah. But you're funny. Like you bring in humor,
Oh, yeah.
right, to
Yeah.
everything in your posts.
Yeah.
That's got to be part of the reason why people are gravitating.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know what it is. I've been getting so many like random followers the past few months, and my like views on my stories have been like going crazy.
Is it a full-time gig?
Pretty
Well,
much.
I mean, like, obviously you have to do it after work, but
Yeah.
you put in a ton of hours planning where you're going, trying to get the invite to the places.
Yep.
All the work when you're there, the after editing, all the stuff that goes into that.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. There's a shop I just posted today called The Dickory, and they make dick waffles, which is just so funny.
Here in town?
No, they're in New
Darn
York,
it.
but I've followed them forever, and I like reached out to them. I'm like, hey, do you deliver outside of New York? And they were
freeze
like,
those bad boys and send them.
yeah, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna get you some. I was like,
Wow.
perfect. Yeah, so I don't normally
And how did you find waffle cocks?
want dick waffles.
Oh, dick waffles.
Come
My
on.
bad. How did you find them?
Just randomly, like
So that's part of the work, part of the research.
Yep. I'm constantly on. I'm like always looking at things between TikTok, Instagram. Those are like the two platforms I'm mainly on. But you see a lot of discovery through there. And like I went and followed another podcast today, and I posted something about them. They immediately liked it. But it's like 3 guys that just sit there and talk, and they're hilarious and they give good advice. I was like, I love this. Like, you guys are like speaking what every guy needs to hear for dating, essentially. And I'm like, not many guys want to say that out loud. They think, I'm macho man or whatever. So,
yeah. You were named most eligible Phoenician.
Yes.
Somewhat recently.
Arizona Foothills magazine.
Arizona Foothills.
Yes. They named me the most eligible Phoenician. It was so fun, like just like writing bios about myself. We never got together. I meant to follow up with, I think his name was Tyler, and he was like, there's supposed to be like a whole like gala. I'm like, can we like do the last 3 years, like do all of us together? Because no one was getting together over COVID. I mean, I was.
Right.
Not everyone else.
Yeah, you're from Wisconsin. You're allowed to break the rules.
Oh yeah, that's my middle name. I break too many rules.
So full-time gig. What keeps, I mean, you're on this verge. I feel like you're on this verge of going, I'm either going to really put my foot down, or it's going to be a hobby, continue to be a hobby. I'm sure it makes some money, but probably for the time you're putting in, you're not getting out your actual value.
No.
I'm sure, economically.
100% I am not. And it's something I need to learn how to monetize. I actually have a DM right now with a gal that I want to be my mentor and like help me out with some of that like monetization. And her and I have been like talking back and forth, trying to figure out a time, maybe when we can meet, because she's just out in Peoria. So we'll see. I want to definitely monetize it, get my name out there more. I'm not hooked to Arizona at all, so I can go anywhere and do this.
Obviously, you started in California at the French Laundry.
Yes.
So
exactly.
are you traveling out of state quite a bit, or is it mostly the Valley for now?
Mostly the Valley. We have a place in Sarasota, Florida, so I hop over there a lot. And then my girlfriend lives in Huntington Beach, so there's galas we go to, which one of them I got to meet Twitch at. Rest in peace. But that was so fun. Him and his wife, we like danced the whole night away, and he was awesome. He had such good energy, and she was on Dancing with the Stars, so that was fun.
Yeah, a good dancer.
Yeah.
Are you worried that if you try to change it to be where it becomes your primary income, that it loses some of its shine? Where like we all have our hobbies, but then you turn it. I love to cook.
Yeah.
And I've always been told, don't become a chef, because you're going to turn what you love into something that's a grind.
Yeah. It's really big for me, because I don't want to be that salesperson that's always looking to make money. Like I probably just need to hire someone to like get deals for me, which I have looked at, and I've like put a job out on LinkedIn, and a few people I like interviewed, but they didn't seem like they had what it took to, hey, this is 100% commission. Like, this is what I would have to have you do as much as you could. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to
say deals. You mean getting you into these events,
product sponsorships.
Take me through a weekend. So, all right. So it's, what you would want the weekend to look like if this was your full-time gig. Like what would Thursday, Friday, Saturday look like? Yeah,
Thursday night would definitely be probably some sort of grand opening or a revamp of a menu. Friday night would probably be, if I could, make it like a date night. So like getting to go do somewhere fun, or I wouldn't always say expensive, but I have definitely gotten comped at some pretty fun places. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I make the best content when it's just free flowing food. I don't have to be like, I can only spend $25 here. Like, no, like I'm like, just comp it as much as you want, and I'll share with the table next to me. Shoot, like whatever.
Let's go.
So and then Saturday would probably be like an activity, an adventure. Like a few months ago, I went 4-wheeling with Stellar Adventures. Plug them because they're awesome, and it was so fun. Like me and my bestie, we do it. We have done it before, so it's not our first time, but I knew the owner, and I was like, hey, I'm like, can I come out, make some content, promote you? And he was just like, yes. He's like, 100%. He's followed me. We followed each other for a while on multiple platforms. So he felt like he really knew me. And I was like, okay, good. And then we actually met the week after. So it was just funny, like by happenstance. Yeah. And then Sunday would probably just be going out to brunch and like hanging out with my girlfriends. So
none of that sounds like actual work. That sounds great.
It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun, and you make content. Like most of my girlfriends know not to touch the dishes until I at least get a video and a photo. And I'm not sitting there taking 100. Like some of the foodies I know, they like let the food get cold, and I'm like, I want to enjoy it because I want to give a good review on it too.
Right.
And I hate giving bad reviews. I'd rather talk to an owner before I give a negative review of something. Just because I come from that like entrepreneur background, small business, local. I want to support local, and I want to support them in not just making content for them, but also letting them know how my experience was. Mm-hmm. I think it's big. I think they can learn from it. And two, when they didn't even invite me out, sometimes I'll just go and let them know like, hey, I did not have a good time. Like, or the food wasn't good, or the service wasn't good. And I think it's good feedback, and everyone needs to at least hear it. I'm not going to like badmouth them on the internet. I just wouldn't do that. Probably the only time I've given a bad review is Cox Internet because I hate them. But
okay. There it is.
Yes.
So do you do long form then reviews as well? Like you'll do a page of a review on someone as a posting, or is it mostly short content?
I do a lot of short content. I do have my website, and I do put features out there if someone pays me. So the ones I have out there right now, I think the first two, I just put them out there because they had invited me to a bunch of stuff before. And I'm like, I really like them. We work well together. We've worked multiple times together. I'm going to put them out there just to start off. And then the last few have all been, they're like, hey, we'll give you X amount if you write this post for us. I'm like, yeah, totally. I'm like, it helps their page. It boosts them up in the feed. So,
sure. So a lot of people that watch this do it for financial reasons,
yeah.
Right? So what's your secret? Let's put together your building blocks of success, which is, I think, and you can tell me if I'm way off here, but you have a drive that's outside of just my job, right?
Yes.
You obviously have identified a passion for something, and you let your drive do that.
Yeah.
You know how to budget. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Like budgeting is probably where 90% of people that I have ever talked to or work with fail.
Yep.
And end up in all kinds of crazy debt. And they can't do things like what you're talking about, which is I'm going to quit my job. If I want to, I can.
Yeah.
Because I'm not burdened with all of that. So you have a drive, you have a passion. You obviously have work ethic, because if you consider BigBootyFoody as work, you're probably working 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And you know how to budget. What else? What am I missing?
I'm good with money. I always have been. I think that.
What does that mean? Does that mean spend less than you make?
Spend less than you make. I like things. I also sell on Poshmark. So if I don't like something anymore, I'm just getting rid of it, but I'm not just donating it if it's got some kind of value.
So that's another income stream.
It's another income stream. It's where I made most of my money last year through my LLC.
Really?
Was through that. I think I brought in like $3,500 just and I only did it for the last 3 months of the year.
Wow.
So
couple $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Kind of as a like garage sale. Almost.
Exactly.
Old school Midwest garage sale.
Yeah. And then I'm like big on if I can bring in someone else's things onto my Poshmark. Like I cleared out one of my guy friend's closets, literally, and like so much of his stuff is sold. Like everyone wants the guy stuff on there. So I'm like, and I love organizing. That's another one of my weird passions. I will go through someone's house. I'll go through their pantry. I'll go through their closet. I'll go through their garage, and I will organize it. I will get rid of what is no longer needed. I do it to my mom's place when I go there in Wisconsin. I do it to my sister-in-law's place, my girlfriend's place when I stay there's like 3 of them when I stay with them. I'm like, I'm going to come over and organize this. And like their husbands are like.
There's businesses built around that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I've like thought about doing it here, but I'm like, okay, like, I mean, I have enough network here where I could probably find some higher end, like people. Cause I don't want to like just go through like a hoarder's house or something. I'm like, I'm actually kind of a germaphobe. So I'm like, the house can't be like super dirty already. I'm like, I need to go somewhat clean. But I used to have a cleaning business in Wisconsin too, like on the side. So always have had
So you're
side
hustling.
hustles.
You're always side hustling.
Yeah. And I've been single pretty much most of my life. I've never depended on anyone to pay my bills. Like, I've always made my own money. I will take on another job to do that. I sold plasma when I was younger just to make like $25 extra for rent. Like, I'm like, sure, yes.
So where do these side hustles come from? Or do they just kind of fall into you where you go, oh, I should do that because I'm already doing it? Or do you have this idea when you lie awake at night? Are there hamsters running around the wheel all the time?
Lots of shower thoughts.
Yeah.
I have so many ideas that I need to implement, and maybe I don't have the capital, or I don't have a developer. I did meet with a developer like years ago, and like this idea still hasn't been put in place. It's like similar to Yelp, but like 10 times better. And it could match people with like locals and like give them a subscription service. And
so they're all there. You've got playbooks of all kinds of things.
Yeah. I write them out in notes. Like, I literally have business ideas in my notes, and I'm bad because I don't actually implement them. And it's probably just because I need to meet with like a developer or someone who does websites and just put it on either. And you either need an app or a website. And that's like my biggest thing is I stop there. I have the idea, I write it all out, and then I kind of stop.
Yeah. You need space too. I hear that a lot where so first of all, that's unique. I'd love to explore that more in research, if that's genetic or how that comes to be, because there are just certain people that have these wheels turning all the time. I'm one of them. I can't shut it off. It's at night, it's going to bed, it's waking up, something's always turning. And Eric, you just met, his is always turning. Like, there's just certain people, and then there's certain people that can't fathom that, that don't even understand that.
Yeah.
So I think for those of us that have those wheels turning, it's a matter of being able to stop that wheel and create space. So then you can go, all right, let me go look through my playbook and let me try to get one of these going.
Yeah.
But if you don't create that space, it's impossible. I mean, you can't do everything that you're doing without help. I don't assume you have a team doing all this for you, right? So you're doing all of it.
Yeah.
How do you create that space? I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a rhetorical question or not, but how do you create space so that you can go back to your book ideas? It's similar to, I was always told, don't work in the business, work on the business.
Exactly.
Right? So, but that's easy to say. But when it comes time to, I love to write music, but I don't create enough space to write all the time. And I regret it every time I lay my head down and go, I didn't do anything with music today.
Yeah.
Well, I could have, I just didn't.
Yeah, I'm big with like my calendar. Like, if it doesn't get on my calendar, I'm going to forget about it and it's not going to happen. So that's probably a big thing, is like, if I just take a night and I just block it off and say, this is what you need to do for the entire night, I'll do it.
You'll do it.
Yeah, but it's a lot of research. It couldn't just be one night. Like, it's research, it's finding the people to connect with and building it.
It's a daily space spot in that calendar.
It really
almost
has
every
to be.
day, right?
Yeah. And I book a lot of things in my calendar. I have my gym every day. I go at 3:00 every day. As soon as I get off work, I go straight to the gym. I tell people I'm not even available until after 5 p.m. usually, because I'm like, people just think I'm working until 5. I'm like, you don't need to know anything other than that.
Right.
Like, and then I have my dog time. I have that scheduled in. I got him like almost 2 years ago. So he's my first dog. So it's been nice having him. My friends say they've like seen such a change in me since I've had him. So that's been awesome.
It probably opened some doors, It
has.
Dogs,
I met a
like
lot
dogs.
of people at the dog park. Went on a few dates from that. Obviously they fizzled out, but
Well, you said you work out a lot. I heard you mention you lost a lot of weight in the last couple of years. Yeah. What was the key to that?
The biggest thing is changing my diet and being not consistent. I was very consistent with going to the gym prior to that, but the biggest thing was people showing me what I needed to be working out, what I needed to be doing. And my friends at Earn Your Booze created an app called Earn It All, and they have literally dialed down exactly what I need to be doing, what I need to be working out. I say my arms and my butt, I need to work both of those in my stomach. Like, that's what I told the trainer, Adam, and he literally like has dialed it down. Obviously you can't target things specifically, but obviously if I'm bench pressing, I'm not really working my legs and whatnot. So he's very good at helping me target all of that, and he helped me with meal planning. So I've changed all of that up. He gets really annoyed when I tell people I juice, because I like do it to replace one meal a day. And he's like, stop doing that. Don't tell people to do that. But I'm like, but it really helps.
Why is that
me.
not good for you?
When you say juicing, people think that like you're doing it all day and like it's every meal. And I'm like, no, like I just replaced one meal and I get all my fruits and veggies. Although, yeah, it is better to eat them all just as they are.
Sure, but better than nothing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in the produce farm, so I love raw vegetables. Like I would go out to the fields and, you know, pick a carrot, eat it, pick a cucumber, eat it. Like I can just do that. I've eaten raw corn on the cob. Like I love it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Strong teeth.
Oh, it's sweet corn. So
Oh, okay,
a little bit
bit
different. A
softer.
little bit different. So yeah, earn your booze. Like I met Justin 6 years ago. Love him. He's like my best guy friend. Total sweetheart. I'm like really good friends with his wife. His daughters love me. He literally started the company as like a brewery. He moved it over to events and like lifestyle on social media. And then he's like made a lot of merch, and he moved that merch in-house, and I was already helping him like volunteer and stuff. And then he moved the merch in-house and like literally pressing t-shirts like as people ordered them. So I helped out with that in like my spare time, and it was so fun. I'm like, I got to organize things. I got to take inventory. I'm like, I'm loving life right now.
Best life.
Yes. And then like a year and a half ago, he was like at an in-between with like social media, like someone taking it over for him. And I was like, can I do it? I'm like, I actually like made him go out to lunch with me, and I was like, hey, I have to talk to you about something. And he's probably just like, what? I'm like, he's like, are you not going to make t-shirts for me anymore? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I want to do social media for you, because I know you're at like an impasse right now. And I've been helping him ever since. And he really is pushing a lot on their Earn It All social media account. And I need to get him back into focusing on Earn Your Booze, because that is his big account right now. And it's so fun though. Like it's just a good lifestyle.
And it connected with you.
Yeah.
It's a story you can connect with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love having a good drink every once in a while. I have too many bottles of wine at home, so if anyone needs to help drink them, please come over and help me.
But this is a way to feel good about drinking those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like all of my family and my friends, like especially from Kenosha, they all see it. I have friends from like high school who I have not seen since high school, who are like, oh my God, I bought some of the merch. Like, I love Earn Your Booze. This is such a good concept. And I'm like, I love that you're telling me that. And I love that you ordered it like without me like having to talk
Pushing
to
it
you.
or telling you about it.
Yeah. And that's my biggest thing. I never want to like push things on people. Like that's never been me. Like I know a bunch of these sales guys, and they're all awesome. They're awesome at what they do. They're very in your face. I love it for what they're selling. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't be in your face. Like, I'm very like, get to know me and you're going to fucking love me. Mm-hmm. So that's just how I am. I'm like, my love language is quality time. So the more time you spend with me, the more you're going to love me.
Yeah.
So.
That's great. So Adam was your trainer, and that resulted in, so you were doing some of the things that you should have been doing anyway, but then when you met Adam, it changed a little bit.
Yes.
So what about getting an Adam for your business?
I need an Adam for my
Isn't that
business.
crazy? Like we talk about helping get our diets in order and helping work out. You know, trainers are very popular, but then we kind of forget that maybe having an Adam for business is a great move.
I think, and my best friend, Brooke, she tells me like, she sends me stuff, and she sent me something about like virtual assistants, and I was like, yeah, I would be really good at that. And she's like, no, you need a virtual assistant. You don't need, but also now I'm like thinking, I'm thinking I need an assistant when I probably just need a mentor and like someone to help me, because I can do these things. Like my brain's just spaghetti sometimes and has a lot of ideas. And
you need a pasta maker.
Exactly. I need someone to show me how to perfectly put the pasta in its place and cook it. And
well, that is a tremendous segue. Let's talk food.
Yes.
I've been waiting for this. All right. So Phoenix or Valley, favorite Italian? Or just, I'm not going to pigeonhole you, because I know you have a lot of Italian folks that follow you.
Yeah.
So give me some good down, because I went to Italy last year, and I tried to come back and replicate what we did there. Mm-hmm. You can't do it here. No. I mean, like,
it's the
I
water.
went to Guido's, I went to everything to try to get like the authentic stuff, and I lost weight in Italy.
Yeah.
Like we went there and
that's a norm, I think.
We ate and drank our way through the country.
Yeah.
But we walked a ton, and the food was I never felt bad. Not one time.
Yeah.
And I ate a lot of pasta. Where can you go to get that here?
So, yeah, like you said, it could be a pigeonhole if I say certain places, but
give me an authentic, like if I wanted to replicate Florence again.
Fratelli La Bufala, they're newer. I
know all about them.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. So I met the pizza makers. They've been doing pizza for 25 years. And I don't, as an Italian, I don't eat spaghetti a lot. I'm bad, but like, give me like a spaghetti pomodoro, like simple, like fresh, and they like hit it on the head. Okay. Like it's so good. Their pizza, like you don't feel like full, and like the bakers, like the pizza guys told me, like the way they make the dough, you're not going to feel it in your gut, which is like a lot of pizzas. And I do love a lot of pizza places around here. I have my specific ones that I like. And again, I would pigeonhole myself saying that, but yeah,
That's a good one. I've heard about, we haven't gone yet.
Yeah.
I was talking with the owner before they opened.
Yeah.
And, he just keeps saying, keep coming, come, but we haven't come yet. So that's good. That's Italian. Let's put that one off the books. Best steak.
Dominics
by far.
Yeah. I was there like 2 weeks ago. Met a lot of old guys because I went by myself and I sat at the bar.
You sat at the bar. That's a risky move at Dominics for a single person.
In a nice little black dress. Yeah. I was like.
Also not a bad marketing play if you're thinking about that.
Exactly. Yeah. And, I have my Veuve Clintock. That's how you say it. I'm so bad. But it's like one of my favorite drinks. And it's like $33 there a glass. And I'm like, I don't care. And then like the bartender looked at me and he like poured another glass. And I was like, okay, sure.
They're the best there, aren't they?
Love it.
What else? What am I missing? How about Mediterranean? Do you have any good spots for Mediterranean?
My buddy has a Phoenician grill down in I think he's in Gilbert. And he's really sweet. And he always has like really good food. Yeah.
What would your last meal be if you killed someone and you were about to go to the death row?
In the electric chair.
The electric chair. What would your last meal be? You can pick anything now, but let's say it has to be from the Valley because I want to be able to go get this.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Last meal from Valley only restaurants.
Well, a ribeye from AJ's.
Okay.
And I would just cook it medium rare myself because.
Okay. So they're going to give you access to a stove.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll cook it on the electric chair before we put me in it.
Well said.
Perfect.
It smells good.
And then a Caesar salad. And and this is like so bad, but like I am in love with Cheesecake Factory's
Really?
Caesar salad.
What do they do differently? Because like Dominics will put a poached egg on it.
Yeah.
Which I love.
So they make it on the Caesar salad dressing on site every single day.
Really?
And I think they have like 100 dressings they make on site every day. So it's always fresh. And obviously all the steakhouses, they're all good.
But Cheesecake Factory was not one I was thinking was going to come up today.
I know.
That's your Caesar salad. Okay. So now we have your salad.
Yeah.
We have your steak.
Give me a creme brulee and Fraser's Tavern down in Old Town does it really good.
Okay, Fraser's in Old Town.
And then I'd probably, I don't know what else I like. I mean, like I love a potato too, but I mean that's just potatoes. The mushrooms from Mastro's.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
It's been a bit since I've been there. Ocean Club or City Hall?
City Hall.
Because they're a little different.
They are. Yep. City Hall. Before I was going to go to Dominics, I drove past Mastro's just to see because I was going to just go have a drink there. And I had a reservation at Dom's. But I was like, I'll just see. There's no parking. I'm like, I'm not going to pay valet just to go get a drink. So we'll move on to Dominics. Yeah. And then I was just like, I'm just going to go sit at the bar. They used to have the best happy hour there. I don't know how long you've been here, but they had the best happy hour at 4:30. They had like a 4-ounce filet and a side of fries for like $12. I'm like,
That's been gone for like 3 years, hasn't it? Yeah, it's quite some time.
They are probably getting sick of me asking when it's going to come back. They respond every time. They're very sweet, but I'm like.
So what's the next 5 years? What are you thinking? Like, is this a transition time in your life, or is it not yet? Do you think it's going to be a few years before you transition over fully and just
I think it's a transition time. I went on a date like 2 weeks ago, and the guy asked me my 5-year plan, and I'm like, I'm going to get married and have
That's
kids.
a pretty ballsy ask for on a first date.
It was.
Yeah.
We went on
Check
2
your
dates
credit
that
report
weekend.
too?
I have it on my Bumble.
Just to show them?
No, I have it on my Bumble.
You post it?
Yeah. I'm like 827. Thank you.
More people should do that, I think.
Yeah. Guys are always like, oh my God, I knew I'd find a girl one day who posted this. And I'm like, yeah, it's me.
So you went on a date. He asked you your 5-year plan.
Yeah. I was like, marriage and kids. And I want to still do something fun and bring an income in. But I want to be able to lean on my husband to bring that income in, and I don't have to worry about anything because, like I said, like I don't think I told you how old I was, but I'm 34 and I've been doing it all myself since I moved out when I was 18. Like, I've had roommates here or there. The past 8 years I've been on my own completely. So having someone who like wants to be a provider and like let me lean on them a little bit and let me do something fun and creative and not have to worry about paying the bills. Like, I will contribute a little bit. Not that much. But my money is my money, and his money will be my money. And
well said.
If that's not what
I don't see how you're not just attracting swarms on Bumblebee or
who
whatever.
wants my money, But yeah.
But that will give you some creative space.
Yeah.
And just doing life with someone is different, right? You've done
100%.
it by yourself plenty, so you know what that is.
Yeah.
I think that's important too. When I met my wife, she had been living in the city but on her own for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's important because there's a sense of, I can do it, right? I don't need you.
Exactly.
But with you, I'm better.
Exactly. And I think that's a lot of guys don't know how to understand how being with someone could be beneficial to them. They just see everything as very short term. And it doesn't need to be. Like, if you find someone who has a lot of the qualities that you're looking for, but they do one little thing wrong. Like, I'm always very open with the guys that I talk to, and that scares a lot of them, I think. But
has it changed over the last 10 years?
It has. And mainly it's a lot for me on the inside. I've learned so much. Like, I can tell from the way a guy is texting me how he's going to be. There are those few that get through, and I'm just like, I go on one date with them, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, who was texting for you? Because this does not sound like you. I went out with this one guy, and my mom texted me today that her boss went on a date, and someone paid with a credit card. I had a guy do that for me. I was like, and he tried to hide it. I'm like, why are you hiding paying for a credit card? You made me drive all the way to Old Town and go to a very good burger place that I also like. But I'm like, and then he tried to pay with a credit card, and then he got upset when he had like 2 credit card receipts. I'm like, one of them's for the gift card that you put down. It was just, I'm like, it's so tacky. I'm like, go with your friends and go to this place.
Yeah. What a nightmare.
Yeah, it's just funny. I'm like, I'm very old school too. Like, I'm like, I like the traditional, but also I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I like the traditional, but I also like, hey, like, we can still have fun. Like, people think when you have kids, like, life ends. Like, we can't do anything anymore. Like, everything's just gonna suck. And I'm like, I've been a nanny before. Like, I am good with like yelling at kids, telling them what to do. We can go somewhere. We can go on vacation. We can still do things. And I think guys get all afraid that life's gonna end. Yeah. It's gonna be over if I have a kid.
Well, that's good. All right. So how do people find you?
BigBootyFoody.
BigBootyFoody
on Instagram. Unfortunately, TikTok does not like the word booty.
Oh, really? So Instagram is where you're at?
Big Peach Foodie.
Okay.
On TikTok.
All right.
Because my account kept on getting a reset, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I found some other booty lovers, and we all figured out that the word booty is not applicable there. So, and then I'm on my website. Business inquiry is on there if someone needs to reach out to me.
BigBootyFoody.com.
BigBootyFoody.com. There's a dating form on there. I've had probably 150 guys filled that out. Very distinct questions. So the way they fill it out.
I saw that. I thought that was very interesting. I did see your dating form. So that tells me you are very organized, because you have a Google form that flows into a funnel, a sales funnel, if you will.
Yep.
And with some very specific questions. But you said 100, 150. Out of those 150, how many make it to the second level of that funnel?
I've definitely reached out to probably like 3 of them.
Okay, so
yeah, one of them gave me his phone number. He had to have found me through social media somehow. I'm like, follow me on social media so I can like follow you back.
We have to tweak that funnel because out of 150, you should be getting about 10 good leads out of that.
100% I should.
Yeah.
And this guy got mad because I messaged him off my Google Voice number and he just said, "Ew, green bubble."
Whoa.
And I was like, "This is my Google Voice number, honey. I have an iPhone, but I'm not going to tell you that because..." No.
You have made me super happy today that I am not dating in the dating world.
A lot of people say that when I talk about dating.
Whoa,
so,
it's just different.
It is.
Right? It's just different.
It's not fun.
Where's your next stop? You've had dinner with Robert Kiyosaki. You've met Guy Fieri. You've been around.
Yeah.
What's next? Like, what are you hoping for? Near term, like.
Yeah, Giada De Laurentiis, like she is like on my bucket list. I'm like, if I ever get to meet her, there's a show.
Opening a restaurant.
She's opening up a restaurant here at Caesars.
Right?
Yeah, but there's a show on Netflix called like Young and Hungry, and the girl on there would be me if I met Giada, and she'd probably want to get a restraining order. This girl's following me around. Oh my God, what is she doing? No, Giada, I love you. I want to be you. It's fine. But yeah, she is awesome. All of the celebrity chefs go to South Beach Wine and Food Festival, and I really want to go to that. Okay. Would love to.
With an invite, not just as a spectator.
With an invite. Like, I want to go and have fun and like make content, and like I'm always one to somehow get invited behind the scenes. So I really like doing that. I've met so many celebrity chefs just being able like, hey, bring me back here and like, let's just say hi. And like, someone always is willing to do it for me. So I really appreciate them.
Just being personable and having good intentions. Yeah. Not being a creep.
Exactly.
How was Kiyosaki? How was dinner? He's here, right?
He's here. He lives in Phoenix. He was the sweetest. Like, he just sat next to me at the bar, and they just start bringing food out to him. Like, no one talked to him. I was like, because I was like side-eyeing. I'm like, who's this guy sitting next to me? They just start bringing food out, and I was like, well, what's in your dish? What you got there? I'm like, that doesn't look it's on the menu. I didn't see that. And he's like, oh, I don't know. They're just bringing stuff out for me. And then we're like sitting there chatting, and I was like, oh, like I have an Instagram account. And he's like, oh, cool. Tell me about it. We talked for like 3 hours.
And at this point, you didn't realize there was 2 guys bringing the food out. One was the rich dad and one was the poor dad?
Exactly.
You didn't know?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't know who he was. And towards the end of the night, he goes, hey, go follow me on Instagram. And I was like, he's like, I think I have like 1 million followers. I open it, and he tells me to type it in. I was like, you have like 2 million followers? I'm like, who are you? Because he kept on dropping Trump's name. And I'm like, it's like, me and my boy Trump, we wrote 2 books together. And I was like, who wrote a book with Trump? Like, in the back of my mind. And then my girlfriend that I was with, she's like freaking out because she's like, wait, I know who this is now. I mean, he looked very stylish for, I think at the time he was like 75. Yeah. I'm like, he looks so stylish for his age.
Isn't that the best way to meet those kind of people, though, is to not know going in and just have a genuine conversation.
Exactly.
Feel them a little bit.
He was, and then like he like gave us some good like dating advice, and he's like, I do awesome seminars, and like now I've like seen him pop up that he's been doing a lot of in-person stuff here. I even have it in my calendar. I think like next weekend he has something going on, and I'm like, well, I wrote down the hotel it's at. Maybe I'll just pop in and say hi.
Whoa.
I mean, why not?
Right. That's 2 restraining orders. One from Giada and one from Kiyosaki, maybe?
He loves me.
They all do.
They all do. They will love me.
Well, this is awesome. Thank you for the tips. I'm excited to follow you now and watch all of the partying that you get paid for. I'm excited to see when you make the transition and you quit day job and go just full on passion.
Yeah, I'll definitely post about it.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
See you guys. Mm-hmm. All right.
Acrylic Financial Incorporated is a registered investment advisor, and the opinions expressed by those on this show are their own and do not reflect the opinions of Acrylic Financial. All statements and opinions expressed are based upon information considered reliable, although it should not be relied upon as such. Any statements or opinions are subject to change without notice. Information presented is for educational purposes only and does not intend to make an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Investments involve risk and, unless otherwise stated, are not guaranteed. Information expressed does not take into account your specific situation or objectives and is not intended as recommendations appropriate for any individual. Listeners are encouraged to seek advice from a qualified tax, legal, or investment advisor to determine whether any information presented may be suitable for their specific situation. Past performance is not indicative of future performance, and some guests may have been paid a fee to be interviewed for this show.